Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Noonchi podcast. So excited to have Tam Luc, Women with Many Hats. So let me get this straight. CEO and founder of Deluxe Life Media.
Yes.
Founder of Women with Vision International.
Yes.
And also the mastermind or brains behind the Women Who Boss Up books. I think I got it right. I think I said all your accolades here. So excited to have you, Tam. Oh, and of course, a rabid Kdrama fan, which we'll talk about. So thanks for joining me. I know Tam because I met her through the Women of Color Boss Up book. Yes. Before that, I think I was introduced to the Asian women who boss up, but then I'm part of the Women of Color who boss up. So admire all the work she does in empowering women. And today it's all about Kdramas, but also how women are portrayed in Kdramas. We could talk about that.
I love that. I love it.
So Tam, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I just love your channel. I love your website. I'm always looking and reading and, because I'm so into Kdramas and usually when I devour one, I'm always looking for the next one. So I'm always looking for recommendations, what people are talking about. So I love what you're doing.
Thank you, Tam. Let's just start from the basics of Kdramas and how you really got into them. What started you down that journey? I call it a journey because
it is a journey. Yeah. Well, it started actually someone asked me, Tam, have you ever watched J-dramas? I said, oh, of course. I said, J-dramas was actually the beginning. That was really the beginning. J-dramas started 20 years ago, when I would wake up in the morning, early in the morning before I went to work. And it was kind of grainy. It was not that great on television. The channel that it was on wasn't that great. And I don't even remember if it was subtitled or not, but I would watch it. And that's when I used to get all into it. And I used to think it was kind of funny because, somebody always had cancer. Was always drama for real.
Right.
So, but I started with J-dramas. My first husband was Japanese. So that's why I started with J-dramas.
And you said you saw them live? What? Like you saw
No. I used to see them like early in the morning before I went to work.
But
as I was getting ready for work.
Television, like they played.
Yeah, they were on TV.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I had to. I was just like, wait a second. What did you just say? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to watch them. I watched several of them, and I thought they were fun and funny, and wholesome in a way, but super drama. Like, who does that kind of thing? It was so hilarious. And that's where it started because, I went to college I have to go back that far because I went to college for international studies with a minor in marketing. And my degree, my chosen language was either Japanese or Chinese, which I never did either one, but I was going to do one or the other. And I was a flight attendant at the same time. So I was really into Asian language and just bilingualism and, that cross-sectionality between people and language. And, that was just always my interest. And I can go back further, like when I was a kid, how that's really started, right? So my journey got all the way to Kdramas because initially I was just so interested in being bilingual and understanding where the cross sections happen. And then I wrote a paper about how you can make sure your kid is bilingual, how kids become bilingual. I wrote that in college. And my son is bilingual, fully bilingual in Japanese. His dad does not speak Japanese.
Wow.
And I don't either.
Okay, so do share how that happened.
Yes, because I was so committed and I had done the research in college that it could happen as long as you really focus at 5 years old, before he's 5. So I really started early and I had him in the babysitters and I got him in the preschool and I got him in the immersion school. He went through elementary school. He went through middle school like that. And so when he got to high school, when most kids are taking their first year of a language, he was taking it in college. Wow. So freshman year, he's now a senior. And this is like the first year he's not going to be taking Japanese. He's like, Mom, I'm done.
He's mastered it pretty much. Maybe
he's like, I'm done. So so that's where it actually started. I have to give that background because it just seems like, oh, maybe she's just like Asian file and she just like, she's just like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I love the background. This is the first time I'm hearing this. That's so amazing about your son. Yeah. Okay. And you got into K-dramas, but then how'd you get into K-dramas from J-dramas?
Okay. So this is how it happens. Koreans ain't playing around. They are not playing, right? On any level, like their marketing is incredible of themselves and their foods and their everything. I tell my husband, their biggest commodity is their men. They're like really pushing their men out as their biggest marketing ploy to get everybody like hooked on. So they have that, the K-dramas, the K-pop.
That's true.
So that's really like Koreans as a culture have decided that we are not playing around, and their production values, how they're presenting their people is just a whole different level. And so I don't remember I think my very first K-drama was Boys Over Flowers or something like that. And then I was done. If anyone has ever seen, it doesn't hold up well now. Like if you watch it now, you might think it's,
but it's still a classic. It's a
classic, right? So the first time I saw a K-drama, I thought, okay, you guys are kidding me right now. Aren't you kidding me?
Like how? What do you mean?
Right. It's just these pretty boys that there was this funny little, because I'm a marketing person. So I'm watching how they are marketing, right? What they're doing. So my brain is watching how they have this pretty man who is very masculine. So they're really pushing this image. Okay. And I'm like, this man is pretty beautiful in the face, but he is masculine. And I saw that theme happening over and over, even to this day. If you look at K-pop, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Pretty.
And
they talk like, you know what I mean? They're doing these like what the heck?
Yeah, they have prettier skin than I do. Yeah. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that kind of drew me into like, what am I looking at right now? What am I seeing right now?
Oh, so you were like fascinated is what you're saying when you were saying it's no joke, just I guess the quality of, or the caliber. Okay. Gotcha.
The quality of the caliber, the thought behind it, the intentionality behind it all. Like, like I said, as a marketing person, I watch, and now I'm still fascinated by, if you're really a K-drama junkie like I am, you notice all these things, like the marketing that they do of products and all of it is just product in placement. There, product placement and the way they do it. So so it's not only a love, it really is a addiction, but it's also a fascination. And I have, so let me just tell you, I have to bring this in too, because my husband is Chinese, okay? He's Cantonese specifically. So he speaks Cantonese as opposed to Mandarin, okay? So then I thought, I'm going to mess myself up because I want to be fluent in something. I want to be fluent, bilingual, my whole thing, right? Bilingual.
Sure.
So I stopped watching K-dramas for about, 2 years. Stopped. Like, I can't do this because it's going to mess me up. And I started just trying to find Cantonese speaking dramas. To be fair, there are some good ones. Okay. But Korean dramas are just way better. And me and my husband were watching these China, C dramas, whatever, Chinese, dramas, Hong Kong dramas, gangster type dramas. This is where that's how I brought him into the fold. Yeah, he's watching these Cantonese gangster dramas, and then he watched the Korean drama, and he goes, "Okay, just a whole different level. The writing is better, the production is better, the everything." Down to the molecule on each person's face is better. Like they're not playing around.
I love that you said that. First of all, I love your perspective that as a marketer, clearly your expertise shines through as you're watching these. So yeah, that's super cool. So Boys Over Flowers, so that was your gateway drama.
Yeah.
Then I'm actually impressed. You've been watching them for a while then.
Yeah. Long time.
Now let's talk about are there is a specific drama out there that you've watched out of the many that you kind of go back to? The ones that I need a pick me up. I'm going to put this drama on. It's not necessarily favorite either, because some people have their favorites, but there's always like a go-to K-drama or a few. Yours?
Yeah, The Guardian, or they also call it the
Goblin.
Goblin.
Really? Okay.
I've watched that twice or three times, or maybe I've watched it four. I don't remember now.
Yeah.
It's like I love that one. It's so well done.
It's so well done.
And it was the drama that I don't know where this feeling came up, where I just really cried. I really got invested in the characters. I have never done that for any other drama, to where like when she was down, I can still feel that even now. Yeah. Like when she gets down on her knees and he died, it's just like that pain of loss. And it may be because maybe my mom passed around that time, where you just feel this pain, and I needed that release too, as she was releasing this pain. And I still remember it.
Yes, I see some emotion, actually.
Can you feel that? Can you see that?
I feel it too, because I mean that show, yes, people make fun of it in the sense of they love it, but there's a lot of grief in that show, that K-drama. Yeah. There's a lot of sadness, but then obviously happiness too. But they do a good job of showing death.
Oh, they did a great job. And I just couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, it was like, this is what they did. Like, oh my God, they killed him. Like, it was like, oh my God.
I know. So, but you said you were sobbing in that scene.
Yes.
Now, do you think it was because it was relating to your mother? Because you're not sure. So I guess I want to know what was
I think it's probably a combination. It probably was like, I needed to release something, and to see someone in pain over someone dying, I could relate. Like somebody who you really love, and so that probably was what feelings were coming up at the time.
Yeah.
K-dramas are very good, like very good. And that particular one, of course you have the eye candy. I mean, you can't get around the eye candy of the show, and just the well written. That was the first drama that I literally looked up the writer.
Wow. Like, I was like, she's a good writer.
She's a great writer.
The famous,
all the big ones. Yeah. And I looked her up, like, who the heck wrote this?
Wow.
That's
pretty cool. It's touched you in such a way that you looked up who wrote those, because there's beautiful words spoken in that drama. Yeah, that drama is well done. And I'm not a fantasy person, but it didn't feel like fantasy.
No, it didn't feel like fantasy. Right? And I didn't think I was going to get my husband to watch, because sometimes he has this like love-hate with pretty boys, he's funny. So he was like, I don't, want to watch, Gong Yu. Like, I want to watch him just say hello or goodbye. I don't care what he says. Like, he could say Coca-Cola. I don't care what he says. But I didn't think he was going to watch it, because, he probably thought, I'm only watching it because I'm going to drool the whole time. But he even said that was really well done.
Well, your husband, just because what I know of him, likes quality, hence why he's watching these K-dramas. So along the lines of that, because I know you like to watch them with your hubby.
Oh, yes.
Tell me about that experience and why you like watching with hubby. I mean, there's obvious reasons, but I want to hear from you. What is it so special about watching these K-dramas with your hubby and finding the right ones?
There's a lot. There's a history, right? There's so many reasons why. They don't show enough Asian men, and this is just historically in the United States. They don't show enough diversity of men in movies in the United States. They just have purposely left it out, right? And I've noticed that forever. And they're starting to a little bit. We got a little bit, but not really. They're not really trying, right? So when you can say, for a man who's raised in this country, that takes a hit at their esteem, self-esteem, takes a hit. They might not express it as a hit, but I know it's taken a hit. And so I want to show him that Asian men are hot, right? I want you to see Asian men are hot. And just because the United States hasn't noticed, somebody else has noticed, and we are noticing this, right? We know this, right? It's not because Tam has a fetish, right? It's like these are men. These are men, right?
Wow.
So that was one of my initial things. I know my way I think is a little different than you expect, but I'm thinking like this is going to be good for him to see, one, and
I
it's
love that.
something
Hold
for
on,
us
put
to
on a
do.
pause on that because
Mhm.
I don't know why that touched me in a way. So you're watching K-dramas because you also want your husband to experience, just to see that diversity, see different men that are differently represented. Wow, I'm blown away by that. That's a great reason to watch.
Yeah.
More people have to hear this. More men and boys going into
Yes.
men should watch those K-dramas for that reason.
They should watch it, especially in
Thanks
the
for
United
sharing
States.
that.
My husband was raised in Ohio as the only Asian, period,
Yeah, Ohio.
anywhere, right? And then they finally get some, but he was raised around. So in a sense, he's kind of really a white guy. He's a white Midwestern guy with those sensibilities about things. And because we're both from Ohio, I totally get him. But he also wasn't raised with that image of himself.
Hmm.
And I've heard it and I've seen it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're tripping.
I love that you say tripping. That's always our word. Yeah, no, that's great. So, okay. So you've shown him some. He liked Goblin, the writing.
Yeah.
Well, how has it affected him? And what's been the experience like watching that? We'll start with your reason number one of why you watch them with your husband.
So, yeah. So then the experience of it for him has been, I think, great. Now, he doesn't want to see, he's an American male, so he wants to see masculine, things, he wants that. He doesn't want to be portrayed or feel like he's portrayed as a pretty boy or weak in any stretch of the imagination. I think that's what's going on behind. If you asked him, he would not say yes, but my husband is funny. So, so at any rate, so he started watching them and I could tell he was like, wow, these guys are kicking butt. Now he likes to make fun sometimes, like, oh yeah, okay. 150 pounds, he just like took on 20 guys. Okay,
They
I
are.
get it.
Some of them are super, super small, thin frame.
Super small guys, but they just took it, But on the flip side of that, it's probably, I think it's good for him to feel that and see that's been portrayed. And these men are coming, they're leading men. They're coming at it as a strong lead, a sex symbol, a good-looking man who is also a strong man.
Who gets the girl.
Like all those things are very important for him to see. And I think he's really enjoying it. And so like,
but he won't admit it. Is that what it is?
Huh?
He won't admit it that he loves.
Now he's done. He's completely hooked. He's completely hooked. Okay. He won't watch ones like Nevertheless with me. like he won't watch, these really too, like, what was the other one? What's wrong with Secretary Kim?
He won't watch that one?
He won't watch that. He will not watch it. It's too slow, too lovey-dovey, too silly, too something he doesn't want to watch. And the male lead is incredible.
So Jen, but there's some interesting storyline in that, I'm just saying.
It's a great storyline.
Yeah, it's not just about the romance, but yes, okay.
Yeah, that's the leading.
He's not here to argue with me.
Okay. Yes, yeah. And then the other part is like he loved what was it, Vincenzo? Oh
yeah, that was a good one. I could see a lot of men liking that. It's Vincenzo, Mafia, right?
Yes, he loved that. He loves Kingdom.
Of course, who doesn't love the zombies?
He loved the zombie ones. So yeah, there's some things I can watch with him, some I can't. So why do we do it? It's something we can do together. Something I found that we enjoy together. Where I work all day, I work very hard. I'm in my office a lot. We do come out. We both work from home together. We both work for the same company. So I come out, chat, eat lunch together, whatever. But to like stop working intentionally to watch and do something together that we can even talk about when we get done, like, oh my God, did you see that? Oh my, or we just talk back and forth, and we have this funny thing because my husband is Cantonese. This funny thing is the reason why they can do it is because they're Korean. Okay. We always say that to each other. Because the way they're portrayed, like, of course we can do it because they're Korean. Like we always do that.
Like what? Like giving, like when they're like hitting each other on the head.
It could be any, like if it's like the guy who like beat up 20 guys. Well, of
Oh
course
yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Like
Because of the
Vincenzo.
way
Yeah. And you know, Vincenzo's frame is like this.
Of
And he beat up
course.
everybody. Right.
Right.
Right. That is
love
hilarious.
it.
I love that. I love that you shared, because guess what? Especially when you're in a marriage or, you know, a lifelong commitment, a partnership, you need to have that quality time
Of course.
with
Very
your
important.
partner and spouse.
Very important.
So I love that you do that. And so is there a specific favorite one that was a favorite couple experience, not just the K-drama, but you recall the experience watching together?
Oh my goodness. I had to think about, there were so many, there's been so many.
That's good.
There was one, what was it? It was so funny and yet crazy at the same time. Unfamiliar Wife or something like that. I think it was
Oh,
called.
yeah,
You know what I'm
Unfamiliar
talking
Wife.
about?
Which
Unfamiliar Wife.
yeah.
And she
I
that was
actually
like
didn't see that one, but I know that title.
hilarious.
Okay.
Hilarious. So it was like where we were both really laughing, like belly gut laughing, and there was mystery, and there was just, and one thing my husband says, he says K-dramas literally hit all of the genres in one. You get the comedy and the drama and the sadness and the this and the that,
That's true.
all in one drama.
Yeah, you're right. Vincenzo was like that, because Vincenzo was
Yes.
like a killing, and then you're like, what just happened? And then
Yes.
it's like slapstick comedy.
Yes.
And then yeah, no, I liked Vincenzo too. That's super
Vincenzo was
cool.
another one like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
when we
love
were
that. I
laughing.
was going to actually share how has it enhanced your marriage. I recommend, just so you know, this is me leading up to why I'm sharing this.
Mhm.
I tell couples to watch not just K-dramas, but watch things together and make it a cozy experience, not like on two different sides of the couch, right? I mean, you don't have to cuddle and spoon,
Right.
but I want it to be like that enriching experience. Do you find that has been the case for you and your husband?
Well, not really in that way. It's
Okay.
been enriching. It's been enriching in that we're not spooning for sure, but we're both like in our little spots, and you know, he gets up, I pause it, I get up, he pause it. We're like in sync. I don't want him to miss a thing, because I don't want to,
Gotcha.
you know, it's just like we have to watch this together.
But then you
And
talk
then-
about it together, right?
And
Afterwards?
we talk about it together. And you know, I was really surprised that he watched It's Okay Not to Be Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
let's
that was
talk
gonna
about
go
that
too
one.
slow
I'm
for
surprised.
him.
I'm surprised too, but it had some darkness. Doesn't your
has
husband like
some
some of that
darkness.
mystery and thriller?
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, but that one was such a good drama, and I tell you what has us really talking right now is Beyond Evil.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
that one.
And I'll tell the audience right now, as of this recording, I only watched 2.5 episodes. It's not my favorite genre, the thriller.
Yes.
But I know it's an excellent drama. Like it's well
Yes.
done. It won an award.
A lot of
Awards.
awards. Yeah, it's a really, and so I watched it because of the recommendation on your
Yes.
page.
And do you like it?
I do. And so it takes about, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're watching it, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
what's going to happen?
Mhm.
It's going to take you about 4 episodes before you start to get a rhythm, right?
Okay.
That's the first thing. And also, you're going to be completely lost for those 4 episodes, right? You're going to be
Okay.
like, what the heck is happening right now?
Yeah,
I don't
even now I'm
understand.
lost a little. I mean, 2.5 episodes. I was like, oh, this is too
Yeah,
cute.
it takes a
Really?
minute, because I
Okay.
thought my husband was going to peace out, because you know, if you don't understand, like with
No.
the first episode, he's like, oh my God, I can't do it. So
But he stuck with it.
he's sticking with it. And now it's like, oh dang, you know, and then we start, and even when we have like our aha moments, we'll pause it and we'll go, so that's why such and such is doing this, is that. We start doing that whole like conversation.
I love those moments where you're like, did you just see that?
Right.
Now we understand what happened.
Right. Stop, pause, rewind, you know, those times.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and-
it's deserving of all the awards.
Oh yeah, it's well written. I mean, it's slow in the
Yeah.
beginning, but it's pieced together well. And we're not even that far in. I think we're on 7.
Okay. Well, it's good
Like
acting. I mean, the
7 or
lead
8.
guy is supposed to be really good.
The lead guy is great.
Mhm.
Yeah, the lead guy is great. And Yeah, and we're like, why is he doing it? What's happening? Why is it happening? So that's like many parts of the very first, like, why are they doing this? And obviously we've watched dramas enough to know that when they're sending you down a road of the first episode, it ain't it. That ain't the road you're going to be going on.
Of
right?
course, we know that by now. Dramas. It'll reveal itself in episode 12 or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a good drama. Yeah, it's a good drama.
So you're watching that now. What else are you watching? I mean, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're watching 4 at the same time. It's the other thing. Yeah, I'm a real.
You're real.
I'm real.
Because why do you watch 4 at the same time? Or why?
Okay, so here's what's going on.
Okay.
So there's dramas that me and my husband watch together.
Okay.
There's things that he will not watch with me, but I still want to watch.
God,
and there is sometimes we're watching them as they're putting them out. So then you get to one, like you can only like binge up to like number 6 and then you got to wait for a week. That happens a lot.
That was hard with Vincenzo. I was like, oh
yes.
my
oh my God, I'm going to kill somebody. Yeah, that was my whole thing. Because Vincenzo was, even my husband was like, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? We go, look, one more day. Shoot.
I know. We're like, darn it. I know. I can't do that either. I like to binge.
Yeah, we like to binge. So anyway, so we have several like that. So one of them is Devil Judge. We have to wait.
Yes.
Right?
Tell me about that because I haven't started it yet. What's your thought?
Devil Judge is so good. Like, of course, they send you down a road in the first episode and you're like, what's happening? Why is this happening? But then, several episodes in, you start to see, oh, I see what it is, it's
another thriller type, right?
It's another thriller. It's another, because we just watched Taxi. What was the name?
Taxi Driver.
Taxi
now that
Driver
was good. Yes.
That was a great one.
That's a great one. That's
where you're doing vigilante type of work. It's kind of like a vigilante type of work.
Okay.
So you gotta watch that one. That one's very good. We like vigilante ones.
I mean, they're good. I mean, it's just, I don't know why. You know what it is? It's the guy. I like to pick and choose what guys I like to watch.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
He's okay. No, Chisung is good, but I'm just like, I'd rather watch.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. So. My husband doesn't like the guy who was in, I can't remember what he liked him in Inheritors. He was the brother in Inheritors. He's a big star.
So not Lee Min Ho.
No.
Oh, the brother. He's in Tunnel.
Yes, he's in Tunnel. We've seen him in Tunnel. We've seen him in Inheritors. And we do follow men's faces. Like we said, we know him.
Ted Jin Hyuk. I think it's Ted Jin Hyuk. Yes.
Yes.
Why doesn't he like him?
He's funny. So we saw him in Inheritors. He was fine. We saw him in Tunnel. And then he was getting annoyed with the way he was acting. He just his acting is not the greatest. And then he went and we saw him in, because he's in a lot of movies.
He's in Mr. Queen too.
He's in Mr. Queen.
Yeah.
He was in what's that thing called? Rakuten? No, it's called
It's a K-drama?
It is a K-drama. I'll think of it in just a second.
Okay.
But anyway, he saw him in that one and he was like, oh my God, he's terrible. And we watched like at least half of that drama. And then he was like, I'm out.
Which one? I was trying to think. You'll have to let me know. But interesting because he doesn't like the guy. Interesting. Yeah.
He doesn't like the guy. Oh, it wasn't Tunnel. Was it Tunnel or Signal? Which one was he in?
I thought he was in Tunnel.
He was in Tunnel. He was in Tunnel.
Signal was Lee Jae-hoon, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to figure out.
Interesting. Well.
Yeah.
So you're saying, okay, so you listed Beyond Evil that you're watching.
So we're watching Beyond Evil. Yeah. Devil Judge.
What are the others?
Nevertheless.
Oh, right. We'll talk about that in a second.
Nevertheless, and Her Private Life.
Oh, okay. And I'm assuming, yes, Nevertheless and Her Private Life are on your own.
That's me on my own, right? And so Nevertheless.
He ain't gonna watch those.
No, he's never gonna watch that. And I try, every once in a while he'll come in the room and I watch Nevertheless and he goes, I don't like it. He has something to say he don't like. And then we got to had to wait for a week.
Right.
So because I have no patience, I had to start another drama, which is how her private life came into the.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a very
Yeah.
simple, but there's a huge storyline in that. But no, it's
Yeah.
a cute one. Yeah, I don't see her
Yes,
husband
it's
liking
cute.
that one for sure.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, what are your thoughts?
Nevertheless is literally, and this is gonna be funny for all the females that listen to this. Nevertheless is I had a dating situation happen like that in my life. I did. Okay. And I know that guy. The guy she is dating, the pretty, the cute one.
Yeah, you would like the Playboy,
I know that guy. I've gone out with that guy. And because of that, as pretty as he is, I keep yelling at the TV, run, girl, run.
That is why, okay, so yes, I'm almost caught up, except maybe the last episode and a half.
Right.
I have a hard time watching, you know what I do for a living.
Yes.
So to see some stuff and some of the things she thinks and
yes,
for the girl is what I'm trying to talk to.
Yes, I'm talking
to
her
is kind of like, I'll deal with him later, but the girl, come on.
Like he's giving classic narcissistic traits to me, and I'm looking at him like I'm not a professional, but I'm looking at him like that's toxic. You need to run from this dude. I've seen this dude before. I've gone out with this dude before.
I think that's why people like watching this. Is that why you're watching it? Because you relate? Okay.
I can totally see it. And I'm yelling at her like, oh my God, but she's young. Like you do these things when you're young.
Right. You do. And she has her own, I don't want to say it's not even issues because we all have issues. Her own insecurities of relationships. But yeah, I'm having a hard time watching her.
It's hard to watch. It's really, really hard to watch. And because I'm like, oh my goodness. And every time I want to turn away from her, which is really interesting, right? How I'm feeling. Because I'm like, I'm hoping that she's going to come to her senses at some point. She has this new fun, nice guy who loves her, like who likes her from a long time. I'm thinking he's perfect. You know, I feel like somebody's mother. Leave the zero and go to the hero, you know.
I love that. Oh, I love that. Your mother says that? Leave the hero. Okay.
Leave the zero and go to the hero.
That is awesome. I had to repeat that. But here's my thing. I would love to see in this particular drama, her end up alone.
She needs a moment. Right.
But alone to be like, I actually wanted that for startup too. Cause I was like, why do you got to end up with somebody? Of course I love the romance, but Nabi needs a little bit of growing up to be like,
growing up. Who am I? Who am I? You know, and part of the problem, and this is the reason why we watch dramas. We really do. I do analyze them like this. I'm sometimes talking at my husband with this conversation right here. Yeah. Like, you know what? And she needs, he's just like, she's probably just looking at me, but her mother had some issues with men, had some issues that she learned, what she watched.
The patterns.
The pattern.
Family.
That's it. And so she doesn't have a self-esteem. She doesn't have the self-esteem where it needs to be. She's a pretty girl. She does not need to be falling for this fool, right? Who's obviously he's not ready. He's just not ready. We just say,
and actually there's nothing wrong with him in the sense of he's not a evil bad
guy.
Not
an evil guy. No,
but he kind of knows what he's doing. Like playing.
He knows what he's doing. Absolutely. He knows what he's doing.
You know this guy. We all have known this
man.
guy. Yeah, but that's interesting. So I had to break it down. That's why I had a hard time when people are like going crazy over Nevertheless. First of all, I will tell you, what do you think of the love scenes or the sex scenes or the bed scenes?
It's very American
for a K-drama.
It's very American. My husband, he's not watching it, but every once in a while he walks by and he's like, why are they always in bed? I said, it's very racy.
I'm gonna fast forward. I actually have fast forward. I'm like, this feels awkward to watch.
It does,
a lot, but not in a K-drama.
Not in the K-drama. And one of the things we like about K-drama is it's still so kind of innocent where you don't even get a kiss until like episode 6 or like 8 or something like that.
Usually it's 8, but but is that what 8 is when they kiss?
Right.
But I like that you said that too, because that's why I think people like k-dramas, the cleanliness of it, and they just know what to expect. People like predictability, whether they want to admit it.
Of course, and it brings up, for me, it brings up that old feeling of when I was in high school. that was a really sweet time in all of our lives when it's just innocence, and we're just, it's the same thing we feel with K-pop, where you're looking at this and these little cute little boys that are dancing and doing all this stuff. And you're like, oh, Lord have mercy. I'm feeling some
I
little
know.
heat.
I love
it's that same, but it's bringing up this youthful innocence, and that delayed to make a kiss a moment. We can never get that back. We're married, we have kids. We can't make that moment come back unless we doing K-dramas.
Way to bring that up. I just
Right?
realized that.
We can't bring that.
We don't have that little like butterflies. Oh my
No.
gosh. Is he looking at me?
Right. Now we feel it all of a sudden in a K-drama. We feel that same butterfly that comes up like, oh my God, is he gonna?
Oh my gosh. Did he text me? Did he call me? You're so right. That is so fascinating. This is so great. I love this conversation, having so much fun. So just to like bookend things now. Okay. We talked about Goblin. I'm going to bring things back just to emotional.
Yes, of course.
What's the emotional rush for you watching this K-drama? Why? What keeps you hooked is basically what I want to ask.
It's all of the things. It's all of my senses are engaged. Like everything is completely engaged. I mean, visually, it's beautiful, right? I'm in marketing, right? So visually, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking they're pretty. The set is pretty. The money they spent on this is visually beautiful. It's almost as if you can smell the money or smell the opulence or smell the situation. The food, they're always, and they're like, you can hear it for sure audibly. They're really making a point of, they're really making and even with, because the chopsticks, Korean chopsticks are metal. Yeah. It's just that ASMR they're doing with that.
I like that. Tell folks what ASMR is.
ASMR, I'm not sure what it stands for, but it's like that, audible
motor. Yeah.
Sensory motor.
I don't know what it stands. I think I kind of say it, but I might say it wrong. But you're right. The sensory motor connection, like by motor cells. Yeah.
All the stuff.
That's so cool.
Tick,
I love that. I'm going to repeat what you said. It brings out your five senses or the senses. So we have sight, hear, taste. Tell me about taste, because we kind of taste the food through that. That's me.
You can taste what happens to us a lot of times, and that's probably why we are eating more Korean food now, because they're freaking smart. They're freaking smart, man.
We need to market K-dramas.
Right? Oh my God, seriously. It's like, and so, all of a sudden now, of course, what do we eat when we're watching so many K-dramas? Chicken or fried chicken or
with beer
or some beer or something like that. Or we have,
ramen.
BDM, the ramen, the tofu, the soon tofu. We took some friends out to eat some of that the other day. We end up eating more, Korean food because so that's where the taste is coming from. Just everything is so engaged. And then emotionally, I'm so invested, then you're going back to my rudimentary, like high school feelings of love, and it's too much, man.
Well, even Goblin, I'm still touched on that, because even when you talked about it, you still got emotional like it was yesterday.
Still, if I think right now, and I watched it again with my husband, and I was just like, and another one was The Sense of the Sun that did that. And I think it was the same writer. It's the same writer.
It's the same writer.
Same writer. And I was like, she is no joke. And she got me again. Yeah. With that, like, you're so invested in these people and their lives, and you wanted to go your way, and then it doesn't. And you're just like devastated as if it's real. And me and my husband talk about this stuff as if it's real sometimes.
I would love to hear that conversation. Reminder, it's not real, but we get invested. That's why we get mad at characters or sad that, something happens to them. Yeah.
And we need that. We need to, because pandemic especially, can't get out, can't do anything with, you can say what you want about TV and, whatever, but I work hard. And so you just need to be able to just let it go and not have to think so much, and just enjoy something with your husband and get invested in this storyline that's maybe a fantasy. And maybe Koreans can kick people's butt. I was kind of has my husband cracking up. I said, well, come on now. Chinese people have been flying for years. And he was cracking up.
It's true. Flying. What is that? Crouching Tiger. Yeah, they've
been flying for years.
Good point. And then they've been doing some martial arts that were like hard to do.
Right.
So Koreans that is awesome. It's totally funny. Well, I am so glad for this conversation. You had some truth bombs and some, oh my goodness, I can't wait. That hero zero thing, that is awesome. Say that again for everybody.
Leave that zero and go for a hero.
I just love that. We got to talk that to Nevertheless, Nabi. Come on, Nabi.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Tam, for joining. Any last minute thoughts? I always like to ask just in case.
Well, no, I just had to tell you, I'm sure the people that are listening are probably already like on the same wavelength. They really are probably Korean drama addicts like I am. So maybe. Possibly. So just keep on, enjoying. Don't feel bad. Bring more people on the fold because, they get better and better.
That's right. Yes. Bring more people and it's good for your mental health. Thanks for joining us. Bye, guys.
Bye.
You can listen in on platforms such as Spotify, Pandora, Google, and Apple, but also watch the podcast on our Noona YouTube channel every Monday where it launches at 6 p.m. Eastern.